The next item before the board, to consider and approve the Amite River Basin Commission Annual Plan for 2024 in accordance with Act 490 of the 2022 regular legislative session. Ms. Lambert, we have a card from you. Thank you.
With me is Mr. Larry Bankston, our legal representation for the board.
Give us 1 second. We'll allow the room to clear out, please.
Let's limit the questions. Let's get this rolling.
Please introduce yourself for the record.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Rachel Lambert. I'm the Executive Director of the Amite River Basin Commission. With me is Mr. Larry Bankston. He's our legal representation for the commission. I have a presentation that I will try to quickly go through in an interest of time for you all. If somebody can get that up on the TV. There you go. Thank you. The purpose of our plan really is from Act 490 of the 2022 legislative session. That legislation required us to start creating an annual plan. This is the first annual plan that we're here presenting to you today. Our annual plan describes our formation and history, outlines our legislation history of ARBC, which has been in existence since 1981. An inventory of projects previously managed by the commission, an inventory of projects planned in our basin, and other policy initiatives that are planned, a description of all funding sources, and a summary of projected revenues and expenditures for the incoming 3 fiscal years. This is a brief outline of the table of contents. I won't go into this in too much detail. This was a presentation that was formatted for our public hearings that we've had on this annual plan. We had 3, but it talks about the history of flooding. This is also in detail in our annual plan itself. There's a listing here of all of the different flooding events of significance that have occurred in the basin. Most recently was our May 2021 and also the August 2016 floods in the Capital Region. Our mission here is to mitigate flood damage, coordinate river management, promote responsible watershed management, and to conserve and restore the unique natural resources in the Amite River Basin watershed. That's our mission statement here of ARBC. We have long legislation history as we were created in 1981 here by the Louisiana Legislature. Some significant changes occurred from Act 490 in the 2022 legislative session that kind of revamped the entire board. Some of the most notable changes were that now the 7 parishes that make up the Amite River Basin have permanent seats on our commission, and then there are 6 at-large members that are appointed and confirmed by the governor. We have a long detail. Like I said, the annual plan and a master plan, which we're actually working on now, that will be due before your 2025 legislative session, is also in place, and we're actually taking proposals this afternoon for that master plan that hopefully will be spectacular, and I will present to you again on. Historic projects, of course, the Comite River Diversion, which is under construction. The Amite River Basin Commission played a large role in the acquisition of the property for the Comite Diversion project. If you're not familiar, that project diverts water from the Comite River to the Mississippi River on the north side of Baton Rouge. We've also had some studies and analyses. We did some highly technical modeling and mapping of the historic 2016 floods that occurred in the Capital Region that can help inform our members and of their flood risks, and also have been used in a lot of studies and models, both by LWI and FEMA and others to calibrate their models and as a marker of here, let's use this to set the benchmark on a lot of things and data. We have some planned projects for the next 3 fiscal years. Most notable is that we're going to receive $100 million from LWI for Region 9. And that's going to fund 3 separate projects. Those are the bottom 3 listed there. Bayou Manchac Flood Risk Reduction, the New River Watershed Management Pump Station Project, and Lower Amite River Channel Restoration Project. Now, that's not going to fund all of those projects, like in totality, but a portion of each of those projects. And that's going to be somewhat of a pass-through funding. We have executed a CEA with LWI for those funds currently, and we're in the process of submitting the information in order to then sign CEAs with each of those jurisdictions that are completing those projects. We also have another project, the Upper Amite River Flood Risk Reduction and Restoration, that we have requested capital outlay funding for this fiscal year in order to complete a pilot of restoration of some of the Upper Amite areas in the gravel and sand and gravel mining operations. That's going to be kind of in conjunction with Pontchartrain Levee District, who has some funds in order to complete a study that's about the Upper Amite River Flood Risk Reduction and Restoration. Here's some more details on those 4 projects that will be part of our funding, or part of our next 3 fiscal years funding. Again, like I said, we are, the money that's going to fund these projects is coming either from LWI or from capital outlay. We have no actual fiscal appropriations. We have no revenue source for our commission itself. We are relying currently solely upon collected dollars from the Comite diversion tax that had been in effect for 20 years but was not renewed in 2020. Some other planned projects we wanted to highlight in our annual plan, some of the LWI Round 2 projects that are occurring in the basin. There is a brief description of those in our plan and some dollar figures on those as well. That money will not pass through the commission, but we felt that they are going to be significant for our basin as well and wanted to highlight those. Some policy initiatives that we will go into further detail about in our master plan are listed above: capacity building, higher standards, flood insurance premium reduction advocacy, coordination with our local, state, and federal government, and then public awareness and outreach. Here's a list of funding sources. I'm sure that you all are familiar with some of these. I won't list them out, but they are listed in our annual plan. And this is my last slide. This is a detail of some of the projects that we're going to actually fund in our next 3 fiscal years. Again, this is the money that's coming from LWI or from capital outlay that we've requested. So with that, I will answer any questions if you have any.
The board is clear at this point. Representative Jackson?
Chairman, I'll move favorable on this particular, or is this just an update?
We will approve. So we have a motion on behalf of the House by Representative Jackson to approve. Any objections to that motion? Seeing none, the annual plan has been approved. What is the pleasure on behalf of the Senate? Chairman Connick has moved to approve the Amite River Basin Annual Plan. Any objections to that motion? Seeing none, the Senate approves the annual plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Last item, we're going to